Okay, today I'm going to talk you through on how to do the color wheel. Before you start, you want to come over here and read through this. Primary are red, yellow, and blue. Please mark where they go in the appropriate spots. Secondaries are two primaries mixed together, which are green, orange, and purple or violet, whichever way you want to call it. Please mark where they go. And then intermediate colors, making a primary color and a color next to it. So that would be blue violet, blue green, yellow orange, and red violet. So we're going to go back over here and we are going to start with the primary colors. So we're going to start with blue. You're going to get a brush and paint that in blue. If you want to speed this up so you don't want to watch me do that, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to stop it and I'm going to paint all the primary colors, which are blue, red, and yellow. Okay, by this point, you should have the primary colors painted. Blue, red, and yellow. Over here also, primaries, blue, red, and yellow. Now we're going to do the secondary colors. Green, purple, and orange. Green is blue and yellow. So when you mix colors, you always take the lightest color first. So I'm going to put a patch of yellow in there. I'm going to put a little bit of blue in there. And I'm going to mix. And then I'm going to paint this green here. And I'm going to paint it green here. Next, I'm going to do orange, red, and yellow. Again, you take the lighter color first, put the yellow down, take a little bit of red, blend them together. You could use a hair bit more red. And then I'm going to paint that orange. Then I'm also going to do purple or violet. You're going to take the red first. A little scoop of blue. Always do the lighter color first. I think it needs a tad bit more blue. And then paint that in there. All right, I'm going to stop it and you're going to paint the secondary colors, violet, orange, and green here, and you're going to paint them here. I now have the secondary colors painted. Green, orange, and purple. Now I'm going to do the intermediate colors, which is one primary and one secondary. So I'm going to show you how to do blue-green, and then you'll figure out the rest on your own. So you take some green, and you're going to add either more blue or more yellow to get that intermediate color. So I already have my green mixed here. So I'm going to take the green, and I'm going to do the lighter color first, which is yellow green. So I already have my green. So I'm going to put some over here on a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to get some yellow. I should have started with the yellow first. Always start with the lighter color first. So you learn from my mistakes, and then mix that so it's like a nice yellow green. I think we can do that. That would be a nice yellow green. So we're going to paint that yellow green in there. Okay, then we're going to take the green and we're going to add some blue to it. So we're going to take a dollop of blue. We're going to put it over here. We're going to add some of the green to the blue. And we're going to make blue-green. Sometimes you got to keep messing with it a little bit. Go over to like a clean spot to see if you're happy with it. I think it can be a hair bit more blue, so I'm going to put the blue over here on the scrap paper, I'm gonna mix it in all together. I'm gonna try over here. And I think that would be a nice blue-green. Try not to be as messy as me, so we're looking for accuracy of color and that you paint a nice clean line. I'm gonna stop it and finish all these intermediate colors and move on to the next page. Okay, now we're gonna do the complementary colors. Complementary colors are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. You can pick any of the complementary colors: yellow and purple, blue and orange, red and green. I just ask that you label them in there in the appropriate spot before you do it. So I'm going to paint the primary colors first, blue and red, and then I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to paint this orange and green. So these are directly across from each other on the color wheel. I don't care which set you pick. I'm going to stop the video and paint, and then we're going to come, I'll stop back by after I'm done with this. Okay, I finished up the complementary colors, blue and orange, red and green. Now we're moving on to muting a color. How you mute a color is you add its complement to dull the color. So example, we're going to take orange and we're going to add blue to it. So I already made myself a batch of orange and I have blue here on my scrap paper ready to go. So the first block is going to be orange. Now I'm going to just take a tiny bit of blue and I'm going to get some of it off my brush first because I just want it to be a tiny bit. And I just want to dull the color a little bit. And did you see how small of amount I put on my brush? So that's my first block. Probably could mix it a hair better. I'm going to paint that in. Now I'm going to take another drop or two. I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to take most of it off, and then I'm going to keep blending it in. Make sure you have it nice and blended. And then we're going to paint that square in there. And I'm going to put more blue in it, and that should be the final one. That one I'm going to put a little bit more blue in there. And I got so much gunk on there in my brush, I'm going to get some of it off because I want a nice clean. All right, that's muting. I'm going to stop it. We're going to do tint next. Okay, now we're going to do tint. Tint is a color plus white. So you start out with white and you do a half a drop of color and then you keep progressing until you get all the way to that color or hue. So we're going to do blue. So here on my scrap paper is a big puddle of white and a little bit of blue in a clean brush. So I'm going to put some blue on my brush and get most of it off. And then I'm going to mix it all the way through. Okay, that isn't quite enough, so I'm going to put a little bit back in there. We want to make like a very pale baby blue and mix the whole batch together. And then get some of it off your brush so it's not too clunky. And we're going to come back and paint that white. And this one is a baby blue. Okay, now I'm going to put another drop, but I'm going to take most of it off. Okay, that's not enough, so I'm going to go back and get more, but that's okay. You want to mix the whole batch up and then get off your brush so you can get a nice clean line when I paint. Okay, so now I'm going to put a drop of blue in there, mix it together. I want it to start getting closer to blue. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to put a whole drop of blue in there and mix that up. Okay, and I don't have enough blue, so I'm going to go back, get like another scoop full of blue. And then over here would be, in theory, pure blue. But you don't have to paint that, I'm just showing you the progression. And again, that's tint. So white plus just a little bit, make sure you do it gradual. Okay, next we're going to do a shade. A shade is a color or a hue plus black. And the trick to this is you have to use a very little bit amount of black. So you want to stick your brush in there and get all of it off. And then blend it in. Because a little black goes a long way in changing the color. So I want that right there. Oops, I went out of the lines. And now I'm going to do the same thing, put it on there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost hardly any, and I'm just going to change it a little bit. If you put too much on it, it changes the color too fast. I'm going to eventually get to a darker color. Again, this is called a shade. Make sure you got enough blue in there so it goes all the way, so you don't have to start all over. And last, we want to put a whole great big dab of black in there, mix in the blue, what we got left. It should be almost black, but not quite. And there you have it. Those are the shades of a color or a hue. I chose blue. You can choose any color.